I'm Stephanie and this is Una and we're interviewing Jim Allister, MEP.
Thank you for doing this interview with us. How would you like to be addressed during the interview?
My name's Jim, so that sounds good to me.
Okay. Jim, do you think that running as an MEP candidate for the TUV will affect your votes, considering you were part of the DUP last time you were elected?
Well, I think that with a record in Europe for the past 5 years that people can see and understand and that I can defend, I think a lot of people will vote for me on the merits of the work I've done.
What do you plan on doing for Northern Ireland within the European Parliament if you get elected?
Well, I intend to continue doing what I have been doing, making sure that Northern Ireland has effective, present, determined representation.
Why do you feel that you're being discriminated against by the BBC and the UTV with your party broadcast for an MEP elections?
Because my message is the message that government doesn't want to hear. They perceive that my message is out of tune with the stability of Stormont, because I dare to say uncomfortable things, like you shouldn't have members of an IRA Army Council sitting around the cabinet table, like that you should have the right to vote a party out of government, when under mandatory coalition you cannot, like the fact that the office of First and Deputy First Minister is a farce, because it is utterly dysfunctional, because they are joint First Ministers, neither can do anything without the other. None of that fits the tempo, none of that fits the message that government, be it in Stormont or in the NIO, wants to perpetuate, that it's suddenly wonderful and nice in Northern Ireland and everyone's getting on just great. And then there's this terrible chap called Allister who wants to rock all those boats and point out uncomfortable realities that really rather the people wouldn't hear. And so for that reason we've arrived at the scandalous situation where BBC and UTV are minded to gag me by denying me equality and parity with the other MEPs who are defending their seats, each of whom are to have 3 party election broadcasts, but this MEP is to be restricted to the minimum they can restrict him to, which is 1. Now, I think anyone looking at that will draw their own conclusions as to the politics of that.
Anything else you'd like to say or share before we close the interview?
No, other than that I hope that young people who are the future and who maybe do not vote in the numbers that their elders do, might realise that in this election, as in all elections, they have an opportunity to shape the future. They have an opportunity to have their say. There are going to be 3 MEPs elected to represent Northern Ireland. The youth of this province have as much entitlement and right to have their say in who they should be as anyone else, but they can only have that say if they vote. So my simple appeal is to them to look at my website, to read what I've said in my literature when it comes through the door, to listen to this interview, and to make up their own mind as to whether or not what is in offer is something that they wish to cast a preference for.
Thank you for doing this interview with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for going.